It's the Yolanda Neely Show.
Yolanda Neely's on. Oh, yeah. Yolanda Neely's on. Oh, Yolanda's on. That's my girl, Yolanda Neely. She's hanging out with you. Yolanda Neely's on. YOLANDEA.
Hi, welcome to the Yolanda Neely Show. With me in this 2021, I have John Perry II. And how are you?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. It is a joy to be back with you. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. And you know, we had a crazy 2020 with COVID and the elections and the runoff race. I mean, we had so much going on. I mean, but we did turn Georgia blue. Yay, yay. But as we, our first, second week into the new year, wow, what a start. What a start. How are you feeling about this year so far in the second week?
Well, seriously, I've embraced this year with a lot of expectation. I'm believing God for the best and believing that this is going to be a highly productive year. I believe that in these first couple of weeks that we're experiencing with all of the turmoil going on in the Capitol, that it's a little spillover from last year.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some things that we've got to clean up from last year as we engage this year. But I'm believing the best for this 2021.
Okay, you have a positive outlook. So you're getting ready to run for mayor of Brunswick, and what's the word on the street? Everybody's, they're vibing for you. What do you think?
I've had a lot of positive feedback, a lot of support. It's always good to get people who are willing to contribute into your campaign, and so I've got some financial contributors, some volunteers, and so I'm very, very excited about it. This race already is estimating about 6 people who will be running in total. And so there are a lot of people who have an interest in running to be the mayor of Brunswick, but what it boils down to is who do the people trust to represent their needs and to represent their concerns. And so I believe that's what it's going to boil down to. And I'm looking forward to seeing Brunswick vote and say, hey, we believe that John Perry is the person to represent us.
Let me ask you something, Dr. Perry. What is it that you're going to bring different to Brunswick? Because we've had our growing pains here. What is it that you want to see happen, as the mayor of Brunswick?
Well, I think that, when you talk with people, all of us really want to see the same thing. We want to see the poverty eliminated, and we want to see our city grow in a healthy, vibrant way. We want to see the increase of jobs. We want to see improved housing stock. We want to see someone come up with a meaningful solution to the homeless problem. And so I think we have defined this long-running list over the last 20 years. But the thing is, we haven't seen true implementation that brings about a real change. And so I think that people want to see a leader that has integrity, that has passion, and that is willing to fight meaningful change for the citizens of our city. And so one of the first things that I want to bring is integrity back to the office of leadership. Not just saying what we hope to accomplish, and then at the end of the term, there's no meaningful change. And I think people are really fed up with hearing the spiel of, we want to see this for Brunswick, that for Brunswick, and then when the rubber hits the road, we're no better off. And so I'm hoping that when people look at my service to community, that they see a man who has stood up time and time again and spoke truth to power, and who has stood by his word. And so I'm hoping that the integrity factor really weighs in, and that they feel that they can trust my leadership.
Now, one of the things that you're really going to have to deal with is the fact that so many people have lost jobs, especially during this COVID situation. In fact, we don't even know when we can really get back to work and really be, I wouldn't say the way we used to be, because I think this is a whole new norm now. But, a lot of people, what about the job situations and, helping people find employment? What do you think about that?
Well, it's absolutely a need in our area. It was stated that we were the poorest city in the state of Georgia by the U.S. Today. Some people say that that's an exaggeration, but just to even be named that low says that you've got to be somewhere in the ballpark. And so we know that unemployment has been a major issue. And so one of the things that we want to set is the increase in jobs as a high priority. And that means that we have to support businesses and try to get them to come to this area. I don't know how active we've been at courting or businesses and industry that are looking for places to set up shop. That's something that we have to do. But in order to do that effectively, we also have to be attractive. Our roads, this issue of flooding, all of those different things have to be something that we resolve, because those things are attractive to businesses looking for a place to set up shop. Of course, there have been some claiming that our workforce is not the kind of workforce that some companies are looking for, and so that we need to do a better job at developing our workforce. But I would say that we have a quality workforce that is consistently leaving. Those persons that go off and educate themselves, they never return here, because we haven't established the type of businesses that they want to work at. And so I think we have all kinds of opportunities. And so I'm looking forward at working with the people who are committed within our local system to making those changes happen.
You're absolutely right about that, because I'm gonna be honest, one of my biggest fears, I came here for a reason. I was closer to Savannah. It was a job that was available, and I could take care of my mom. Now, last year this time, after my mother passed away, my biggest fear was getting, I wouldn't say stuck, but being here and there's no jobs. And I was really, really very concerned, for that. And then COVID hit, so I kind of I had to stay put, and I felt like, okay, God's saying, you know what, there are things that you can do, so it's time for you to own what you're going to do. I had to take, but it took me a year to really sit down and do a lot of fasting, a lot of praying, asking God, okay, what's next? Because you're right, there's not those quality jobs here. There's no businesses here. I'm really not a hospitality person. I haven't done this is because you this is a tourist place. So, you have your hotels, and even people at the hotels, they're getting, they're not working on a consistency like they were a year ago because of COVID. So it puts us in a very, very crazy situation here, so what can you say to people like that, like especially downtown Brunswick? I mean, what is there to do?
Well, of course, COVID put us in a very vulnerable place as a city, because we are depending on tourism. But we are seeing that coming into 2021, that tourism is starting to pick back up, and it's expected to go at full force around mid-year. And, we may see a lot more than we're seeing right now a little before mid-year, but it's projected to be boom this year, because of course people had to stay locked up for a full year. And so the anticipation is that United States of America is going to see a lot of travel.
Right.
And so we're looking to see that kick back up. But we need to diversify. We need to make sure as a city that we're not just dependent on dollars that are a byproduct of tourism. And so goes back to what I said before. We need to sit down and think about the kind of businesses that we want to be here in our city. And that's going to take us making some tactical decisions, and then putting feet to the conversation, literally going out, doing the hard work of hitting the pavement and trying to attract businesses. seeing if we can come up with some different incentives that makes us look even more attractive to those
Mm-hmm.
businesses, in the hopes of creating another level of mass job market. And
Right.
so um, I'm looking forward to it. We are full of different opportunities as a city. We've just got to sit down and make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? It can be because one of the things that I like here and everywhere that I have had some interviews in different communities in different states, and I'm like, but it's beautiful down there. You know, it's a great community. You got two
Right.
beaches. You know, you got St. Simons, you got Jekyll Island, you got historic downtown Brunswick. It's great. I enjoy First Fridays. You walk around. I mean, there's no traffic. I mean, you get a little bit of traffic here and there, but nothing like a major city. So I like the coziness of what Brunswick brings. But again, that job situation and luring companies here, you know, I don't know how that's done. And I'm sure you have a committee that, you know, and commissioners that you can sit down and speak with, you know, how that can happen. But I think that's definitely a need because we need some jobs here.
Yeah, I think the average person is concerned about self-preservation. Um, Wherever I am, I need to have the ability to take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so, being a city that makes available opportunity for economic increase and being able to take care of yourself by having a quality job, that's extremely important. And we've got to stop overlooking uh, whatever we had 10, 15 years ago. Um, that represents a time that has passed.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've got to aggressively make some forward progress because the climate of what we have now in terms of our residents, they're demanding more. And rightly so, because
Mm-hmm.
they've been patient for 20 years. Literally, for 20 years, we've been hearing that we're on an economic downslope as a city, and we've got to come up with creative ways to uh, answer some of the challenges that we're facing. For 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
the residents have been paying two taxes,
Yeah.
um, dealing with those type of conditions. And I sincerely believe that when you're in a situation such as the residents of Brunswick who have been patient, who are paying two taxes, it's on the it's on the government officials to say, okay, what are we giving back to our citizens? How do we show them as our residents that they're our primary customer, and we want to make sure that as a city we are giving customer satisfaction. That when they have to pay that extra tax, they say it's well worth it because the services we receive, the opportunities we have here as citizens, we're very happy. And that's a part of what I want to help bring to the table as a possible future mayor of Brunswick.
Well, you know, you're right with the taxes because, in fact, you guys pay more taxes than we do in the county.
Right,
And
right.
and the honest part about that, the people who live in the county, not including myself as yet, but they are more well-to-do, you know, and they can afford. I'm
You're
coming.
included in that as well.
I'm coming along, 2021. Hopefully one day soon. But they got a little bit easier than the folks that are in the city that that owns homes and property taxes and stuff like that. And that really isn't fair. Now, not saying that I want the taxes to go up in the county, not yet. Not yet, but it should be fair. It really should be fair because I mean it's still Brunswick, and when you say the Golden Isles, you still say Brunswick. I know most people like to focus on St. Simons or Jekyll, but Brunswick I know it's the key to the Golden Isles. I've heard all the names to it, but we do have a lot of people who live here, and I don't think they need to be paying two taxes. That's
Yeah.
not fair.
Well, with the way that, you know, we're set up, it's just a reality. I think the emphasis is more so on quality of service that you receive for what you're paying. If I pay more, I expect to get another level of luxury,
Hmm.
another level of value. And so it can't be that a citizens pay more and receive less.
Right.
You know, you don't pay top dollar for a Pinto. Once I pay top dollar at the next level, I'm expecting that BMW, Mercedes,
Mhm.
Lexus, whatever your luxury car of choice is.
Mhm.
And so I think as a city, we have to take that mindset as well. That if the citizens are going to pay more, then we have to make sure that they receive top value for what they pay, so that they don't feel like they're being cheated in the process.
Mhm.
And a lot of our citizens feel cheated in the process, and they're being very vocal about
Right. Well, you definitely have some great ideas and great plans, and having the opportunity to speak with you. And I don't want you to divulge too much as of yet. But so when's the campaign trail? I mean, you already started campaigning last year. So how hot and heavy would the campaign be? Because I mean, again, you
it.
have
Well,
five other opponents.
right. Well, it's time now to begin to really kick up dust,
Mhm.
get out there and really start hitting the pavement. We were trying to wait until we got past, these national elections.
Mhm.
So of course we just ended the run for the Senate, and now that people's mind is off of the national politic arena, sort of, kinda,
I'm sorry,
because of
kind.
course we still have we still have some things going on, but we're hoping now we can begin to spread the information on our local races, and
Mhm.
people will begin to give true thought to it,
What do you think is can motivate it? Because the last race you were in, which is the commissioner race, what, a couple of years back, um,
right?
you missed it by with 11, 12 votes. What do you
Right.
think could be the motivating factor for folks in the city to really get out here, register to vote, and actually vote? And now Georgia went blue, so people are voting. Now, but that was national races. What do you think can really get them motivated about the local races here? Because at
Oh,
the end of the day, you making decisions on their lifestyle, their dollars, and their homes, and and things like that. So what do you think can motivate them?
well, in terms of motivation, I think 2020
Mm-hmm.
was the great motivator. I
Absolutely.
think when we saw the level of lives taken, uh, the level of challenges that we face in terms of seeing the nature of leaders in places of power that were making decisions for us, um, COVID, all of those different dynamics that 2020 brought, it has motivated people in a way that we haven't seen in a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
like you suggested, they were motivated. I don't think that motivation was just for a presidential race or just for a Senate. I think people have a heightened conscious now of what it's going to take to make conditions better throughout the
Mm-hmm.
land. There was a time when we were willing to give blind faith to leaders that were elected and said, okay, we put them in office, they'll get the job done. Now we're seeing that a lot of times we have elected people, put them in place, and they haven't represented with integrity the people who put them there. And so all eyes now are on these offices, and people are trying to be much more intentional about what needs to be done, about having quality leadership that will represent them. And so I think they're motivated. I think what has to happen now as a candidate, I have to really get out and let people know my heart for them, and and the issues that I want to represent, and the change that I look to make on behalf of the people, so that they know who they need to vote for. So we're committed to that process, and I'm excited about it.
In this lab with national races, what won the races actually was young people and African American women. How what is your plan to really reach the young people, and the importance of really, because they came out. I mean, our young people are woke, and I like that.
Right.
And they're participating in the voting process. But again, locally, how are you planning on going over to Brunswick High and going over to Glen Academy, or how are you able to really motivate our young folks?
Well, currently I have some young people who are working with the campaign.
Okay.
who are currently in high school,
Okay.
and so they're organizing and they're doing some groundwork and trying to build up our young adult component. And so we're excited about that. We're serious about trying to encourage, inspire, and educate young people to be a
Mm-hmm.
part of the process. At the point that you get 24 years old, you can start running for some of these public offices. And so it's my belief that if we get them a part of a campaign such as mine, then they don't wait till they're 50, 60 before they consider running for public office.
Right.
They use a great part of their youth to influencing culture and influencing the environment that they live in. And so we're working hard to make sure that youth is a part.
Okay. Okay, because we got, we can't deny them anymore because they're trying to be,
So
they're trying to be part of the process. And I'm very proud of our young folks, for getting out there, and they've been marching, they've been standing up for their rights. And, I'm and they've been good at it, not violent. And that's really what,
right,
that's, if you want to use a model of nonviolence, look at our young people. They march and they just want to, again, they're woke, and I'm glad they're woke.
yeah.
This vaccine, have you decided to take the shot?
Well, honestly, I'm happy that the vaccine has come,
Okay.
but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait a little while before I consider taking it.
Mhm.
It's still early in the process right now.
Right.
And so I just want to make sure that um, they've gotten all the possible bugs out of it before
I got
before I
you.
allow myself.
I said the same thing. Now I'm not saying that I'm not going to, because I was just talking to my auntie, and she's like, my auntie's 94. I said, you can take the shot. I'm not taking that shot. She's flat out no. I said, well, I'm not saying that I'm not going to, but I'm like you. I'm going to wait and see and how it prevails out there in the communities. And because I have friends who are like 65, they're on the phone, they're trying to get those appointments. And I understand because people are tired of staying at home. So they want to be protected. But again, I don't know all the stuff they're putting in that shot. And then which one is better? You're going to get Pfizer or you're going to get Moderna, So I want to take the one that Dr. Fauci took.
I know that's right.
He's the only one I trust, Dr. Fauci.
It's there's a lot of concern still about should I take the shot or not. I believe that we're going to get to a point where it's mandated.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's going to come with time. Just like you can't go to school if you don't take the measles shot.
Right.
This virus is something that we're stuck with, and it's going to be lingering.
Mm-hmm.
But we just want to be sure. And I think the minority community, we've had a lot of bad experiences throughout history with being guinea pigs,
Right.
without proper research and things of that sort. And so, or we were the research.
Right.
And so,
exactly.
yeah. So in this season, my decision is, just to wait
Mm-hmm.
6 months to a year, and make sure that we have all the bugs out, and then I'll give them my arm.
Okay. Well, Dr. Perry, we're right there. I'm just saying, I'm not going to take, I didn't say I wasn't going to take it, but I just want to see. I just want to make sure. I got a doctor's appointment maybe like around June sometime, and we'll sit down and we'll have the conversation. Because, believe it or not, I was like that with the flu shot. It took me a long time to get that flu shot. And I took it, I remember taking it, and I got so sick, and I said, I'll never take that thing again, because I took it. And then my doctor said to me, look, you're taking care of your mother. A flu or the cold to you could be pneumonia to her. So from that point, I started taking it, and now I take it. It's no big deal. I take it every year. Arm hurts for a couple days, and then I'm good. But I don't know.
Well, I'm still waiting to take the flu shot. I've never had a flu shot.
Wow.
Never ever. And things have been pretty well without taking it.
Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Yeah, you're lucky. Since I've been taking it, I'll be honest, I have I catch a cold or something, but it lasts like a couple of days and I'm good to go. And I think with us really, I wear a mask. I don't know. I just know I have to take care of me, and I got a four-legged buddy that I have to. If anything happens, I got to make sure my four-legged buddy is okay, because there's nobody coming in the COVID house to take care of her. So I try to stay as safely as possible. But I think with a lot of people who are wearing, because it seems like I go a lot of places that people are wearing masks. They're masked up, and that should really help with the flu as well, or a cold. Because working in radio and sharing the microphone, I used to catch some bad ones.
Well,
folks just...
I'm every now and then I'm sharing the mic at church, so I get it.
You get it. Somebody got something. So plus I'm vitamin up now. My vitamin D, my C. I'm get back in my healthy on my exercise bike in the mornings. I'm really trying to build up my resistance. So I think those are just things that we have to do now. This is our new norm, and so we won't have to take that shot. Because I really don't want to take it, but again, if I have to, I have to. Well, what is your expectations for 2021? Your goals, your expectations.
Well, of course, I have this race before me, and that's going to be extremely consuming. I am on the cusp of working on a book.
Okay.
I have one that I was working on last year that I kind of pushed to the side that really needs to be completed, but I'm tackling a whole nother title right now. I'm dealing with just evolution, process of becoming your best self. And I believe that complements this whole run for mayor, because of course as a city, we're in this process of trying to become our best self. I believe that it's high time for people to hold themselves accountable for being their best self versus just living and making it from day to day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really excited about that process. Of course, as a father, I'm always looking for opportunity to spend more time with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're in that process of being young adults pursuing life, and their little schedules get real busy. And so I'm always looking for creative moments to have daddy time with them and to encourage them to be everything that they can be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking forward to this year just being a wonderful year in many ways. Looking for financial opportunities, looking for great relationships. I'm looking for the whole gamut.
I'm not mad at you. I'm right there with you. Financial blessings, career-wise, and I feel good. It's crazy because I know it's been a long year. I know it has, and we've gone through some challenges in 2020, but for some reason, not for some reason, the spirit tells me that I believe that 2021 should hopefully become a lot better, prayerfully, become a lot better for us all if we stay true and believe it can, and write our visions down and make it plain.
You gotta make it plain.
You gotta make it plain. You gotta make it plain. So I've been writing my visions and just asking God to direct me, and even fast and pray. That's where we're at right now. Well, I really appreciate you taking some time and sitting down and talking to me and talking about your plans for becoming mayor of Brunswick, Georgia. See, I'm speaking those things as though they are.
Hey, I'm in agreement. I claim it and receive it.
Okay, so we're going to catch up with you. We'll have more conversations throughout the year through your process. I would like to watch your journey as a candidate and see how this takes off for you, because I see the passion and I know this is something that you want, and I believe that you could really be helpful to this community. So I'll be watching you.
Hey, watch. The journey is always a unique experience. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Whenever you deal with anything with people, there's always something unique that takes place.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting to hear the different narratives that pop up, and the different things that people say and different opinions that they have. And so finding a way to navigate through all of that and bring people to what really matters, um, and what's at the real heart of the matter is always a challenge, but it's a challenge that I'm looking forward to facing head on, and really finding a way over and around so that we can bring all of these different kind of people together. The division amongst our people is crazy. You got Republicans, you got Democrats, you got black, you got white, you got poor, you got rich, you got happy, you got sad. And so you got all of these different people that you got to try to bring together in a place of unity so that we can work together for the common good. And that's always been a strength of mine. And so that's going to make the journey a real, real unique process. So yeah, keep your eyes on it.
Okay, I definitely will, because again, yes, you do. And it's folks that you break bread with, folks that you know in the community, folks that you hear, and one feels this way and the other one feels that way. So it's like, wow, you know, what do you do? What do you do? But I'm definitely, I'll be watching, and hopefully, I think you can. I think if anybody can really bring all folks together, I believe you can. I mean, we started that with the Ahmaud Arbery case, and we're going to continue. And I definitely love to have you on as it gets closer to the time of the actual court case, as we get ready to go to trial. And because I definitely want to keep people engaged around the country, because they haven't heard too much lately because of course, with the elections and everything that has taken place. But here in Brunswick, we're going to be getting back into the trial coming up soon. So I would love to have you back on, and we can talk more about that to keep people updated of what's happening here in the Brunswick community.
I would love to be a part. You the boss lady. So anytime you call, I come running.
See, I like that. The boss lady.
That needs to be a part of your jingle.
Okay. The boss lady. Okay. Let me see how I can work that. Because I plan on being a boss. Well, I really appreciate it, Dr. Perry, for coming on again, and good luck in your running, because I know it's going to take some work out here, but you shining, so you should be all right. I know there's a little bit of competitiveness out there, but it's gonna be all right.
No, it's not a competition. It's just a conversation with people.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, the people will make a decision about who they want to represent them, and you have to honor people's choices. So I approach it with that perspective, but I will put the work in to make sure that they know that I'm an available choice.
Okay, all right. Dr. John Davis Perry II, so glad that you joined Yolanda Neely's show today. Okay?
Blessing.
All right. Bye-bye.